Hello, my peoples. It is Wednesday, June 7th, 2023. And I know it's been a while. And I just returned back from Peru, an awesome Peru trip with my family. And I wanted to record a video from the top of Machu Picchu. But dang, it just seemed like we were just moving. And in order for me to get into the flow of thought, I don't want to be interrupted or distracted too much. And there are just people everywhere, and so these are the thoughts that I've been carrying around for almost last week. And first of all, if you ever get the chance to go to Peru, I absolutely recommend it. The people are wonderful. The country is absolutely beautiful, beautiful country, beautiful people. Reminded me a lot of Spain. There's a real heavy European influence there. Food's great. It literally seemed like everywhere we went, the people were just eager to help us. I was a little nervous about, traveling abroad with just myself and 6 females, and I wasn't there very long to realize that was just an irrational fear. The people there were super, super nice. I'm not saying anything bad couldn't happen there. It could, but I mean, we also reduce those odds by not being out at night, being in strange places, not being with the tour guide, that kind of stuff. So highly recommend that you go, make it happen. So many life lessons on Peru. We were there for 3 days, kind of toured some historical Inca sites and checked out Cusco. And then last Wednesday, we started a 4-day hike up to the top of Machu Picchu. And so it was me, Michelle, 3 of my daughters, Quinn, Peyton, Emery, my niece, Kalani, and my mother-in-law, Mona, who is 69 years old. Now, Mona has ran marathons all through her 50s. She's 69 now. I think she stopped running marathons early 60s. And then for the last probably 6-7 years, she's done half marathons. So she's in awesome shape. But she's still 69 years old. And this Machu Picchu backpacking trip was, as far as I can remember, it's the toughest physical challenge that I've ever done. I mean, day 2 was absolutely brutal. And they warn you, they tell you, like, hey, it's going to be tough. But you don't know how tough it is until you're in the middle of nowhere and you're on these non-stop stadium stairs and you're looking up, and I see my girls way up there. They look like ants, for real. And then I turn around and look behind us from where we came from, and that looks like ant village. And then you get to the top where I finally make it to where my girls were, where they look like ants, and there's another 4 miles to go. I mean, it was tough. And so it really puts you into this mindset of, first of all, I was just so proud of our group, all my girls, even myself, just that we did it. But then on top of that, no one was complaining, no one was moaning and groaning, and really, I was worried about myself the most, because I can complain, but I didn't complain. I just kept focusing on one more step. I was seriously doing what about Bob Wiley, baby steps to that step, baby steps to that tree, baby steps to that rock, and then I'd take a break, and it took a while. But so it was an awesome trip, super inspiring. My girls blew me away. Kalani blew me away. My mother-in-law just absolutely inspired me. Anything is possible. But the theme of this video, what I want to encourage you to do, is I want to talk a little bit about vision boards, because we went to Peru last week but it was about 18 months ago, in the March or April of 2022, that I created a vision board. And on this vision board, you know, I've got quite a few things. I've got some big dreams. Oh, I'm walking my dog. Bo, there's Bo. Bo, say hi. Hi. So I've got all kinds of stuff there, health related, you know, travel related, things I want to do for my girls, things I want Michelle and I to do or have, you know, and I mean, just all kinds of stuff. But one of those things that I put on the vision board, that I cut out a picture, was of Machu Picchu. And it's not like Machu Picchu has been this lifelong dream of mine. I really haven't known much about it, but I put it on my vision board. And last summer we took Emery and Pay to London and Edinburgh, Scotland, and a few weeks after we were home after that trip, we were out walking Bo and ran into some neighbors. And these neighbors have 3 teenage boys, and they told us that for one of their teenage boys' graduation trip, they did this backpacking trip to Machu Picchu. And so they gave us all the contact information, and we kind of copied their trip, and it was awesome. They didn't say it was hard. They just said how much fun they had and how awesome it was and how worth it was. And they totally focused on everything positive, which is cool. It did get us there. If they would have told me it was hard, it's not like I wouldn't have went. I just might have had a different idea. But anyway, so this trip did not begin with the planning of the trip last summer when we ran into these neighbors. This trip actually started in spring of 2022 when I put it up on my vision board. And I'm not telling you that if you put it up on your vision board that it's going to happen. However, I will ask, does it happen if I don't have it on my vision board? And there's a few other things that have already happened. You know, the few other things that I put up on my vision board that have already, you know, manifested. And so I want to encourage you, if you've never done a vision board, to do one. Just start writing down some things that you would like to see in your life that might even be unbelievable right now, that you're like, oh man, I don't want to put that down. I'll feel like there's no way I'll have that house or have that car, or I'll be able to do that for those people, or lose the 10 pounds, or whatever it is. Like, whatever it is, you might have some self-doubt behind it. Like, just do it. No, you don't have to show it to anybody, but do it for yourself. And then if you can, go to Google and search for an image that represents that idea of something that you'd like to do or have or do for somebody or be. Then print that image and tape it to a little poster board. And mine, I keep mine behind the doors of my den. So when I close my den doors, I see it every day. I see what I wrote down. I see, you know, and so subliminally, unconsciously, I'm trying to attract that. I'm trying to attract it all. And honestly, I mean, so the idea with mine is that if I were to somehow pass, which I will pass, but let's say when I pass and all these boxes are checked, like I would feel accomplished. And it isn't, I mean, it's just about experiences mainly, because experiences nobody can take from you. Experiences, like, no matter what changes in life, does not change that experience. And I think we've all known now, after the last few years, that we are all vulnerable to policy changes and rule changes and other people's authoritarianism that will affect how much you're willing to experience what you want to experience. So right now in June of 2023, where we have this window that appears that you can go anywhere in the world you want, you can do anything in the world you want as long as you have the money to pay. And each plane ticket that we bought to Cusco, Peru, was about $1,000, $1,100. Not a huge amount of money. I mean, you save $50 a paycheck for 1 year, you will be there. Make it happen. Make these things happen. Really think about what it is that when you pass, which you are going to pass, if all these things were to have taken place, that when you're on the other side, you're like, dang, I'm glad I did that. I'm glad I always wanted to do that. You know, I'm glad I made that happen. So think about that. Think about that. Then start collecting some images. Put those images where you can see them, where you'll see them a lot, and see what happens. Like I said, I put that image of Machu Picchu up in April 2022, and I kind of didn't even realize that it was back on my vision board until about 3-4 months ago, when we had already bought the tickets. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, I actually put that on my vision board. You know, because there's a lot on my vision board. But I don't know, it was really inspiring all the way around. Awesome trip. I've been emotional the last couple days, just thinking about, like, because now you're processing it, and just like, you know, and of course now I miss my kids, miss Kalani, miss Mona. But it gets me fired up to plan the next one, to plan the next adventure. And if that's what I got to do, then that's what I got to do. So now we'll start looking at the next item on the vision board and see what happens. So I hope you guys are having a great day. I hope you got something out of that. And God is good. See ya.